Well, everyone, I'm here with Isidoro Nieves. Isidoro Nieves, founder of Kettlebell Sport here in Puerto Rico, and this is where I'm from. And I grew up a little bit down the street from here, but I live in the States. Isidoro, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I started martial arts in 1975, 57 years old. And from there, I came down to train with kettlebells. I found it like about 11 to 12 years ago. I wish I found it earlier, but it comes when it comes. So, and now I'm here in Puerto Rico. I'm a master trainer at IKFF from Steve Cotter. He was my first coach.
What is that? What does IKFF stand for?
International Kettlebells Fitness Federation.
International Kettlebell Fitness Federation.
Federation, yeah, it was founded by Steve Cotter.
Steve Cotter, the infamous Steve Cotter.
Yes.
Who also has a martial arts background.
Yes.
He competes in Jiu-jitsu, white belt.
Yeah.
Now.
A couple of months ago.
Yeah, he won in Jiu-jitsu white belts, and he does pretty good. And he trains with Jiu-jitsu with
Ribeiro.
Huh?
Ribeiro.
Yeah. Ribeiro with Gracie.
I guess so.
think. Yeah, Ribeiro, Gracie in Texas, right? California. And he also trains the people in Ribeiro's gym in kettlebells to condition for Jiu-jitsu too. But we're here to talk about Isidro.
And
So tell them what martial arts you did before doing kettlebells.
I started with Kung Fu style, 1975. Then after that, Okinawa Kempo, Goju Ryu, and traditional Jiu-jitsu.
Traditional Jiu-jitsu.
Seibukan Jiu-jitsu.
Seibukan Jiu-jitsu. Yeah, that's very good. Seibukan Jiu-jitsu. So, how long did it take you to form like your classes here of kettlebells, and also how is the kettlebell sport looking here in Puerto Rico?
Well, the kettlebell classes I started like 7 years ago. Started with small groups. From there, based on referrals, the groups start to grow and then keep bringing people. They found that it's one of the best ways to train that they have found, so they keep coming. Kettlebell sport has grown kind of slow here in Puerto Rico. Like I told you, we don't have the mentality.
The mentality of it.
To spend 10 minutes without dropping the bell. So I can mention like maybe 2 or 3 of us have done it for 10 minutes. So, but from there I found the Bolt competitions was founded by Nico Rittner of IKLF. It's based in Colorado. And it's a friendly way to introduce people to the sport because it had the same lifts, same times, but in the double bells you can put it down as many
times
you want during the 10 minutes. And in the single lifts you can change hands as many
times as you want.
And you can put it down. It's not that it's easier, it's still hard. And then you can choose the way you want, and the score is based on the repetitions times the weight of the belt.
Okay, yeah. So that is bulk. I always thought that bulk, I confused it sometimes bulk with marathon.
Yeah, bulk really means believe, overcome, live, and try for something like that.
Believe, overcome, lift, and try.
Try.
So you can, it's not like classic kettlebell sport, which is 10 minutes.
No.
And you cannot drop, kettlebell touches the ground, you're terminated.
Yeah.
You're done. Whatever you did was it. So, and then in snatch, you can only switch hands once, and the kettlebell cannot touch the ground. So in bulk, you can switch hands, you can put it on the ground, you can text message, and then go back. You won't do that, no, but I'm saying this. But I mean, you have to start somewhere. It is very, very reasonable to get your foot in the door.
Because the classical sport, it scares people.
Yes.
It really, really scares people.
Well, it's argued that it is the most toughest fitness sport in the world because it is very painful and it takes a lot of drainage in your energy to even do any other things too. And then it takes a toll on your hands. And then you have to be very up here as well as here.
I remember that last competition, last World Championship last year, Ivan Denisov was in, I think, Costa Rica.
Ivan Denisov, master of sport, world champion.
And he competed in both.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, he killed it. Yeah, he used like 32s and 28s, and you have to see the video of him doing the double snatch. We have double snatch.
Double snatch, okay.
With two belts. I saw the video. He's doing with 28 kilos.
Uh-huh.
He didn't drop it, so he just killed it.
Kept on going.
It's a machine.
Yeah, he's a machine. Or in the United States, the power lifters would call him, he's corn-fed. He has these legs. And they call the type of body that he has, they call him like he's corn-fed. That's what the Americans say. The people in the States say, the corn-fed. Man, that is awesome. Yeah, kettlebell sport has been growing very slowly but surely. At this point, in 2019, anywhere you go in the world, there is an organization by now. There are a few, but they're there, and they're loyal.
It's a misunderstood
It's a misunderstood sport. A lot of it comes from, I think, because a lot of people, they look at a ball with a handle and it moves around and they think they're going to hit themselves with it. And then a lot of personal trainers out there, they underestimate it. They hear about it in their basic CEU or CPT, Certified Personal Trainer. They do talk about it, but of course
they're afraid
they're afraid to put it in, and people give them a negative attitude. The thing is, if you master it, you'll be able to teach it. And that's, the kettlebell is probably one of the most complex, hard moves to do in exercise, period.
Right.
One thing that one has to master is the swing. I think the swing is fine, and then everything else comes afterwards. But that, of course, it hits you in the wrist. Yep, there you go, man, yeah.
And the bumps.
But this, like when I tell people this, everybody knows kickboxing and kickboxers. Remember that they break a baseball bat in their shin. And that didn't just come one day to the next. The thing is that, like kickboxers, with the wrist and the kettlebells hitting you, you develop the fascia and also the bone gets stronger, but that takes time. So the same thing happens with the shins. You'll kick them in the shin, they can be kicking, some guy bends street poles with a kick, or they break bats. So that wasn't from one day to the next, that was built throughout time. So the same thing happens with the kettlebells. Nowadays, just use a wrist strap, right? I use tennis ones that are thick and long for my students.
I don't.
No?
No.
Kettlebell guards, no?
Nope.
Oh, okay, I always have them because somebody is new and wants to try it out, I
No,
try
for the new people, I
New people.
encourage them to use it.
Okay.
But
In my class,
no gloves, so no guards.
Yeah, no. Gloves, if they want to use them, I let them. Because if it's their first time and I see they're out of shape, they're not like,
You're gonna tear this.
you can tear the skin, and then of course they're intimidated, but they know and they heard and they read about it in a magazine, or they see a celebrity doing it, and they know it's good, but you have to bring them in slowly and explain them to them, welcome them, because it is a very intimidating tool. It is very strenuous.
Yes.
It is a tool that is used for combat sport as well. Why? Because a lot of the workouts can assimilate the intensity of a real fight. There's nothing like the real thing, but you can make a drill that'll you're in between mental and physical, and you have to keep control, and you have to also keep on going, and also keep the breathing, keep the mentality, keep the balance, keep the control. Breathe, balance, control. So keep the goal.
It's very portable. You can take it anywhere.
Yeah. Nowadays, now they have, and this is what I tell my friends here, get the kettlebell that you can switch the weights because it can fit right there. And you can do squats with it. When you learn how to do swings, you can do swings with it. And then in 20 minutes, you can do a full workout. You can do a swings, a couple of cleans and jerks, and maybe
Presses.
two presses, and then the Turkish get-up to finish it off. And there you have everything.
Right.
And
You don't need anything else.
you don't think anything else. Maybe running, some swimming, jump rope, a little bit of cardio after, or even the day in between. That's all you need. Your body's built, your body's strong, structured, right? And your body would be structured, strong enough for injury prevention, efficient, and happy body. What are your five recommendation exercise for the kettlebells that you would pick?
I pick snatch,
Uh-huh.
jerk,
Uh-huh.
clean and jerk.
Clean and jerk.
I'm biased, so
Okay.
yes. Goblet squats.
Goblet squats.
Just
Yes.
pick that up.
Turkish get up. Okay, those are the fundamentals, yes. Fundamentals. That's good, that's good. And I always say also the snatch is pretty much everybody that learns kettlebells, after they learn, they always say the snatch is their favorite one.
It's one of the most demanding.
Most demanding one. I think it's the hardest exercise to ever teach anyone. The hardest one. It's also good for people who do combat sports because you're pulling and then you're punching through and you're grabbing up in your head.
And if you look at the people swimming, imitates the stroke in volleyball, also have a lot of rotational also for like say tennis, golf, that is
Tennis, golf too. It works a
Baseball.
rotator. You're fighting this. You're controlling, keeping it here, but your body is preventing from doing this. So you're doing a rotational force, negative rotation, what we call, by keeping it stable, but your muscles are working in order not to move. But it is doing the rotational force. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's good. So cool, man.
Yeah.
Man, so here this is you.
Enjoy your training?
I love my training.
Good.
I do kettlebells every day. I passionately teach it to people, even if they don't like it. I try to get it to because they all know it's good for you. That's very important. But the idea is to be very precautious on teaching them. You gotta go very, very little because they're scared. Many people have never been challenged in doing something that pulls and pushes them. And because of this pull and push, the kettlebell is also a great, the kettlebell swing is a great accessory for deadlifting. I know there's a lot of deadlifters and powerlifters out there who just don't know it, but it is. When you learn how to swing and you master it, one, it'll train the deceleration descent of the deadlift or power lift. And then also the pulling and pushing is also making your body control the deadlift when you come up and down. You'll feel more control when you go up and down. You won't feel the pendulum over and forward because you already expose yourself to something that pulls you and pushes you a lot more. Another thing too.
And also it teaches you to use the hips.
The hips more, yeah.
And strengthening the posterior chain.
The posterior chain. And it also gives you speed coming up. Speed coming up, and also trains you in the eccentric descent, which is something very important. Gets the hamstrings working. It's one way of activating it. So there is a protocol that if you add the kettlebell swing to your deadlift and you progress to 24 kilos, in a month you can get 50 pounds extra in your deadlift.
Oh.
There is one, and it's clinically proven that. So a lot of people, a lot of powerlifters out there don't know it. It's not that it doesn't work; it's just they don't know it. So that's another thing too that happens with there's a bias with kettlebells
For
too.
me, I don't do deadlift too often, but I do a lot of swings. So last week I started a deadlift protocol, and I found it kind of not easy, but good. You know, I feel comfortable to do it.
So how was the protocol? Tell us a little bit about it. The deadlift protocol that Isidoro.
Well, I just started. I don't know how long ago I measured my 1 rep max, and from there, I just started to. One of the protocols that I do is that I do like 2 sets of. I started with 12 reps. First set is slow in the way up, fast in the descent. The other is opposite. Then I go from 12, 10, 8, 8, 6, 6, 4, 4, 2, 2, and 1, 1. In the sets of 2, 2, and 1, 1, I just pause in the
low
shin level, thigh level, and then same.
Okay.
And it's good.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so deadlift protocol. So tell us. I mean, I've gone to competitions, and you, like many, that are in kettlebell sport or do kettlebells. Period. They are or they used to be in martial arts for years. And they say that's one modality that's kept them healthy and also keeps their mind occupied. You think that's like That you think about that too?
Yeah,
Like you agree with that?
I believe that 90+% of the people that does kettlebells have martial art background. Yes. I found that everyone. Like
Yeah.
that, yes. I agree with you. on that.
Like that's they don't talk about it when they're there, but when you ask them, yeah, I did martial arts for years.
And also, people with martial art background look for kettlebells.
Yes.
They always
They
say
know about
they're
it.
still young, because for me it's the case that I said, oh, I think I have enough of martial arts, you know, because you cannot keep on with the young people, so, especially for me. So this is the good way to keep the intensity without getting hit.
Yeah, the Turkish getup is Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, the intensity of it's not the same as a fight, but you know, the struggle that you have with the repetition, the weight, the intensity, but keep kind of resemblance.
It's not a human body on top of you, but it works and trains the muscle for when you have somebody on top of you and you want to get up underneath them or around them. Because if you look at it, you have to do the upper body work, the core work, the hip, and the legs. You're still on the ground. You're moving your body through space from the ground up. From the ground up, you're moving your body through space.
It's the best transition that I found.
Yeah, it is the best.
So martial arts,
Well, my favorite one that I think assimilates jiu-jitsu, but you have to master first the basics of kettlebell to do it, is half get up to tripod stance, to keeping the bell up. Like, to bridge, pop, and then doing the hip bump sweep. So the leg coming behind, and then basically you're prone, but then your arm is out like this. And then I do prone snatch.
Yeah.
It's hard. This is not for beginners. I have a video out there that I have doing that. It's not for beginners, but when I did that move because the thing about kettlebells that I liked, I was a skater, rollerblader, extreme rollerblader, and I'm all about being creative and working out. So that's one that I was taught to, and I did them that way. And then when I did jiu-jitsu for real, which I wanted to do for decades, and I finally did it, when they taught me the hip bump sweep and getting underneath from the closed mount and getting into the dog stance position, that move helped me a lot. It made it very easy for me to understand that, and I can see the assimilations for it. But yeah, people that I've gotten a good into that market of martial arts and jiu-jitsu, you have guys like Kettlebell Jiu-Jitsu, which is in Los Angeles.
I know the guys.
Yeah, Kettlebell Jiu-Jitsu. He follows everybody. He's really cool.
One of his students came here once, Antoni Laudanis.
Antoni Laudanis.
Yeah,
He trained with you?
Yeah, he came here and did a class. He was a great guy.
Nice.
Yes.
What's his name?
Antoni Laudanis, something like that.
In California?
Yes.
California. Another person who does this, my friend, Master RKC instructor Phil Ross. He has a martial arts academy. He's a 3rd degree black belt in jiu-jitsu and also Taekwondo. What's the one that's more combat? Taekwondo. He's a 6th degree black belt in Taekwondo. He told me the name a million times, but I always get it wrong. So let's just say Taekwondo. He's gonna hate me for this, but he loves me. And then also Onnit Academy took also ground with that because there's Joey Rogan. Joey Rogan has also made a good job in promoting kettlebells.
Yes.
And he's had a few people that are kettlebell specialists in his podcast, and like Weber, who did the cardio drills, and he did 2 DVDs for it. He's an endurance athlete, physical therapist in Canada, blonde guy who was RKC. But he does know about kettlebell sport and everything, but he doesn't practice it. But he does do it. I mean, yeah. And then also you have the ex-Navy SEAL influential speaker, Jocko Wilkins. He's bald, and he's Joe Wilkins. Joe Wilkins. Okay. They call him Jocko. They say Jocko Wilkins. One thing he said in the podcast with Joey Rogan, he said, if you're going to obsess about something, obsess about kettlebells and jiu-jitsu. And that's it, he's a black belt too. I've never seen his videos or anything doing kettlebells, but he talks about it. So we have to look for it a little bit deeper, but I know he knows his shit because he's a black belt and also he's obsessed with doing things right. which is a good thing. Oh man, yeah. So anything else you want to share?
Oh.
Tell people about.
Well, people, if
Tell
like,
people
like
about
everything, when you
kettlebells.
try kettlebells, start with the lightweight, work over the technique before, and then you can go from there at the weight. But never start with the heavy weight.
Never start. Yeah, don't be a hero.
No.
The kettlebell is very strenuous modality.
And very technical.
It can build you or destroy you. So you have to be patient with it. But once you learn it, you're set for life,
That's right.
and you'll never go back. So that's one message there. I think that's something about kettlebells there. Yeah. And for people in combat sport, which you know about it. That I've trained people in combat sport like Jiu-jitsu, and they want to learn it. It's like they need it.
They get hooked.
They get hooked,
Yeah.
and they want to learn.
It's
because
addictive.
It's addictive. Yeah. They know it's gonna make their jiu-jitsu better, and they want it. Even if it's hard, they're like yes. And then when I'm training them, they're like, oh my god, I think, oh, this guy's not coming back to class. The next day he's like, I love that.
Give me more.
Give me more. You know? So always be.
And for me, it's so addictive that sometimes I walk around or move around. If I see something that resembles a kettlebell, I think, I want to swing it. Or
Yeah, it's a cannonball and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, any messages? Anything else?
Well, for any of you listening here, if you come to Puerto Rico, feel free to contact me. Come here and train. So I have here. They come here. Gabriel, Douglas Siemens came like a couple of months ago. Dennis Basilev had been here. Steve Carter. So
Sergey wasn't here? Rudin?
no. The only Russian is Dennis.
Dennis.
So contact me and you will be very welcome.
Yeah.
Here.
So tell them what's your Instagram? Isidoro
Nieves.
Isidoro Nieves.
They keep calling me Isidro, but it's Isidoro. It's normal.
I wrote it down like that. I'm sorry, just
on
read it.
Facebook or Instagram, it's the same. Isidoro
Just say,
Nieves.
do you have an email?
EINKBCT@gmail.
And now you know he has a martial arts background, so if you are combat sport, he will make the workout for you based out of that. And if you want to learn anything, he knows his shit. Well, yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you. This is Ground Up Academy. Leave your comments below. You can contact us and ask us anything you want, okay?
Sure.
Get strong, get fit from the ground up.
Do kettlebells.
And do kettlebells. And jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Yeah.